The Republican-led Senate has been fighting pretty aggressively to clear companies of any liability if they don't do what's necessary to protect their workers during the pandemic. That's important context to keep in mind because lately they've been attacking certain government agencies tasked at ensuring that workers are safe, especially during a time like a pandemic. So the Republican-led Senate Appropriations Committee proposed a spending cut to the federal agency primarily responsible for protecting workers from coronavirus. Senate Republicans unveiled a flurry of spending bills, and one cuts $11 million out of the Worker Safety Program. And it's of course known as the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA. And they want to do this again during the pandemic. OSHA says that its state partners, with its state partners, it has 2,100 inspectors responsible for the safety of 130 million workers. So their task is incredibly important. It's important in any time frame, but it's certainly important during a pandemic. So here are a few of the examples of what OSHA does specifically. All of the new OSHA cuts, by the way, would affect the Susan Harwood Training Grant Program, which according to the agency provides funding for nonprofit organizations offering training and education for employers and workers on the recognition, avoidance, and prevention of safety and health hazards in their workplaces. Last month, OSHA rewarded $11.2 million in Harwood grants to more than 90 nonprofit groups around the world. The grants ranged in size from $49,765 to $160,000. And if maybe some of you are wondering, why is this money going to other countries? Well, it makes sense during the pandemic when you need the entire world to be on board with doing what's necessary to prevent people from contracting and spreading the virus.
So this is part of the reason why we got rid of private fire insurance, because it turns out that if your neighbor didn't pay for private fire insurance and his house is on fire and no one puts it out, guess what happens? Your fire starts in your house and your house burns down. So we don't want the pandemic spreading and spreading and spreading. And in the midst of the worst pandemic that's hit us in our lifetimes, they're cutting money from helping with worker safety. Now, the reason the Republicans do that is because there's never any price to pay. So it would require a strong party on the other side that then hurts the Republican branding so that people know, oh, the Republicans are against workers, they're against safety. And presumably in that scenario, the Democrats would be for the workers and for safety. But that never happens. So Democrats never make their own case. And then when the election time comes around, nobody remembers this. It's inconceivable that they'll remember this. And the Democrats never run in any ads. They never go out on television and talk about it. They never go and do what the Republicans do, which is say, can you believe these outrageous sons of bitches, right? The Republicans will shred the Democrats, but the Democrats say no, civility. So while they're doing civility, I guess to get along with the Republicans inside the club, must be good for them. Our safety is shredded because nobody fought for us. So the Democrats just don't know how to play this game. And the people who suffer, yes, some Democratic politicians lose because of it, but generally they're in safe districts, so they don't really care about you. And that's why they hate the Just Democrats most of all, because we primary them in safe Democratic districts. And then they're like, oh man, this is a threat to our power. Now we have to pretend to care, like Eliot Engel did when he said, in a press conference on a hot mic moment, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't getting primaried. And that was a press conference to talk about how they were gonna help people in the middle of a pandemic. So my point is, Democrats, if they fought for you, could be so effective in pointing out what monsters the Republicans are that they'd get the money put back in and actually protect you. But since they don't fight for you and they don't make that case, the Republicans will 100% get away with this. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.